Namaste and welcome back. This is part 2 of Kundalini Awakening. Um, it's a big subject, so I want to make some like at least 4 to 5 parts. How Kundalini can change your entire life and what's happening when it changes, when it begins rising. So in this video, I want to describe about isolation, like how it will help you and why it is needed and why it will happen automatically, and who is making you to stay in isolation. First, isolation happens when you enter in a deeper state, and when you have no one who understands what you're going through, and when you feel that okay, there is no one who can help you in this process, and the people who are available to you, like the people who are available soon to you or your close friends, and they cannot understand what you're going through, and they can listen to you but they cannot help you in this because they themselves don't know what's going on within you, because you yourself has no idea what's going through. So isolation is a process where you can literally your rebuilding of yourself will happen. You are getting in touch with yourself for the very first time in your life, not like saying in a new age spiritual way where I connect to myself. Just those are just words. You are really connecting to yourself for the very first time after you've been born. So this is deeper. This is really deeper. When you understand that, when you get a taste of yourself, your isolation will be your biggest blessing, because in isolation you are alone. You are not lonely. You're not feeling lonely. You were alone with yourself. That is very powerful, because each and everything which is going on in your body, you will be attentive to that. Suddenly you're smiling, you just in a second you observe that okay, I smiled for something. You're twitching, you're itching, or your leg is moving, you just roll from this side to that side and that side to this side. All these smaller things, every small thing you say, you suddenly you're cooking and suddenly you start singing a song. You'll observe that where it came from. Why are you singing that? You didn't decide that you're gonna sing that song while you're cooking or cleaning or something. It'll happen automatically. Your attention to all these things will rise to the point you will go to the place where you picked up those things, those moments. I went back to 20 years of my memories all of a sudden, where I heard the track and why it is sitting in my mind and why am I repeating it since then subconsciously. So these things will happen in isolation. So your isolation is not a bad thing if you know how to handle it, because knowing how to handle it comes from patience and observance. You need to observe what's going on in your body, and meditation practice will definitely help it. I wouldn't suggest without going through learning meditation from a right source. I wouldn't suggest anyone to stay in isolation, because I'm in isolation since probably I don't know 6-8 months to 1 year almost, meeting friends but I only meet few friends whom I can explain these things to, who are also a little bit into meditation. And other than that, I don't go out to parties like I used to before, or I don't do all that as of now, because I touched myself a little bit inside. Deep inside, I tasted who I am. Where is my source? Those meditation experiences took me in that spot where I get a glimpse of who I am. Once that happens to anyone, then you will not fear of you're alone in your home or anywhere you go. You just don't fear humans anymore. You lose fear for like someone is gonna hurt you and something. You just lose that. But staying in isolation can be tough, because all the things you hid deep inside you from your childhood, way deep inside, where you don't even remember now that they exist will come up. So when they come up, you need a tool to how to handle it, how you can handle that uh, when that energy or the when that emotion is coming up, which is not comfortable emotion, or it might be pain, it might be something you just don't know how to handle it, and it's kind of irritating you and all that. Meditation will definitely help you. It's an amazing tool to observe and let it go and not judge that particular emotion or particular feeling. For in order for these to happen, isolation is important. It is very important task in this. If you are in a group of people who are also having this awakening experience, that's fantastic. That's amazing. You are lucky, I would say. If you have like a group, a set of people living somewhere in an ashram, or in a place where you can discuss these things, because the energy in an ashram, or the energy in those spiritual places, who are all the people, thousands of people in the ashrams, their intention is to go deeper within themselves. The whole energy of that place would be different. Everything will help you if you have an option to go there. But after a certain amount of time, you figured out that okay, you're having a Kundalini experience and it's really hard right now. But if you feel like okay, I wanna like travel, and if you have that feeling of moving out from where you are, then I would highly recommend you do that. If you're moving out from a state to a different state, you feel like that, because that'll change your whole system completely. For me, I had this feeling to move out of the place where I was in, or I am right now, for a little bit of time, but my home became my cocoon. My home became the thing where I completely deconstructed myself and reconstructing again. My heart blew into a million pieces, and I'm connecting all that together. My new being is building itself. When my Kundalini is like all these things happening, when my Kundalini is rising every day, each day it's a new experience. So everything became a blessing to me, and but I needed to move. I needed to move so that I can get my energy back, because travel brings your power back in certain way. All the power you lost in a relationship, or in childhood abuse, or in any kind of abuse, it'll bring it back, because you can feel this new you that okay, I can function in a different way, in an intelligent way, and I can live very happily. This energy, these feelings will come back to you. I took a long trip, drove from coast to coast. So it was like, I drove for probably 6,000 miles in 3 weeks. So this brought me a lot of energy and a lot of my meanness into myself. It's like all this energy is spilling. I just got it together, and that was a really good help. It's like I was hesitating to take the trip, but you know what? I gotta do it. But I'm not in a place to move my entire home somewhere else, because the place I am in, it's not spiritually, in my view, it's not that evolved. If I am in coast to coast, if I am in California, there are places where people are more evolved spiritually, and there are more spiritual centers, meditation centers, and I'm in Midwest, so it's kind of like closed for all these things. So that one part, isolation, can be a biggest blessing of your life if you know and have the tools for you to get in, and you can create a safe space in your home with the things you want to create a safe space, like having crystals or whatever you've been called to, because initially you will need help with all those things. Slowly you'll fall out of those, or how can I say, it's like your energy would be higher, your vibration will grow higher by using all those tools. You might not require them. That might be any kind of tool, any kind of crystals, or any kind of spiritual items, I would say, like like an incense. It's that may be vast number of things where whatever the things you're getting pulled towards, not you are pushing towards, but you are just drawn towards it, and that happens for a very good reason. So I would definitely advise for you to get those things, because initially you might not understand that why you are feeling that pull towards to that item, but after a while you'll understand that why those came to you. Because it took me 1.5 years to understand why I made crystal grids in my home and like pyramids and all that. I didn't even, like, out of interest I bought them, but I was not in deep in the pit at the time. But I was drawn towards it. I couldn't control myself buying them. It was like that. I don't have a plan for that. Like, I don't have what I'm gonna use them for, but I just got them. So, but after 1 year, I understood that okay, those are here for a very good reason. I went down so hard, and then I understood the energetics of crystals and what a grid is without even learning anything. I still didn't see any YouTube videos or learn about crystals. It's all about, it's in me. It just opened up at that zone. Then I understood that okay, 1 year back, the books I bought, the crystals I bought, the spiritual items I bought, like in the past couple of years, it's like me gathering all these things for me to deconstruct and reconstruct. It made sense at the time when I was in that depth of my Kundalini rising, and in that intense moments, then my wisdom opened. Then I'm like, okay, I prepared myself literally for these things, and this home I prepared and everything. It's like I hope this happens to you too. You are in the right place where you need it to be. Wherever you are right now, in the situations you're having in your life, in the habits you have, you are at the right spot. You are exactly at the right spot. It'll open up for you. Slowly things will open up for you. So it took me 2 years to understand why I bought these things. There were books I bought which I never read. They were just new books I just ordered out of blue. Out of just at work, I don't know why I ordered them. Like but when I opened them, it was the right word. Each word I read in those books were exactly what I needed to hear. There's nothing else which is like, it blew my mind to the point it's unbelievable to me how many things I collected, but I never touched them before. Like out of 1 year, they were just there because their energy is helping me in my home already. So once I got into my space, into that divinity, into the energy of creation and the rising, and giving me or putting me in a place of understanding, then things opened up for me. Like each and everything I bought, each and everything I took from someone or someone gave me, it's all for that moment, for me to have that energy to sustain that when the Kundalini is rising, to sustain that or to handle that in a right way. It just blew my mind. So isolation is definitely a very good, it can be a very good thing for a certain amount of time. You will get out of it. You will start seeing once you're at a certain point, you'll have this clarity all of the sudden when that time ends, when you're being in isolation, or I can call it aloneness. So when your aloneness is like, when you reach the point when you understand that okay, a deeper awakening process is happening within me, and it's changing every piece in my body. And when your mind is settled a little bit, then you'll automatically start going out and making new friends. And because okay, one more topic I want to cover in this is old friends. The old friends you have, and the friends you rejected, or the friends you stayed away or pushed them away from your life when you're having this experience, that happened for a very good reason, because they're taking your energy away. They're taking your mind's energy away because they're not a good influence on you. You're keeping thinking about them, that okay, these guys are just not good for me. I mean, it's like the space in your mind was occupied by those people's energy. It's negative energy. They are just pulling your wisdom and your energy out of you, because they can't think it for themselves. That's one of the reason your body, your mind, and your deeper self push them away. And once you are in your isolation, once you are in that space, once your aloneness ends, or the aloneness never ends, but the isolation part ends, you will have this bliss and you'll have this intelligence rising where you think that you can handle things. Then you might reach back to those friends, but it will not stay. When you reach back, when you start talking to them, your imagination, or sorry, your awareness and your intelligence is already grew so much that you can really see the thoughts behind their eyes. Those negative people, negative friends you pushed, or negative people you just rejected, your body and your mind rejected, when you meet them again, because you will, because when you have access to your bliss body, your compassion and love comes out of that, because you had to push them away. Then out of that, you would want to reach to them and, like, say hi, or just have a conversation, but you cannot go, like, you cannot be that close, or that bond you had before, that you think that was a bond, will never happen again, because you rose above yourself. Your old self is gone. All the old patterns, all the old things will go away with it. Even though we are going towards the old thing, it will not stay, because it cannot stay. Out of your old habit, out of that tiny place where a tiny piece of thought left, that okay, let's contact that person and see how it goes. You might do that, but it'll not happen. So it's not going to be deep enough, and it's not going to be a meaningful friendship or meaningful relationship, or whatever that person is to you. It'll be so clear to you that okay, this is just, I contacted that person, but wow, what a change that you can see where their negativity is coming, and you can see their problems. If you're an empath, you gotta walk away. You you have to walk away from that because that'll suck your energy out again. So the health you got in the isolation, the mental health you got, the awareness, the intelligence you have, is because you distanced yourself from those kind of people and worked on yourself. And what's going on in those people's life is their problem, is their own making. You are not responsible for it. So try not to pick up that energy again, because it might push you back a little bit. The work you did so far, it might push you back. It might not even take much time for you. Just one conversation, you'll feel this energy draining. I'm like, oh my. you'll feel that. So, and when you have the urge, what I might suggest is, like, let the urge happen, but don't take any action towards it. When you have the urge to meet the people you rejected, or you just repelled yourself from, when the urge is happening, just let it happen and let it go. It's hard for saying it's easy, but when you are in that zone of, okay, I want to meet them or talk to them and see how they are really doing, because you are compassionate, but that's not healthy to you in that situation. So this is one of my suggestion on this. What else can I? New age stuff. Oh my god. This can be a new whole episode, because new age spirituality and the things they use, and all that new age stuff, and spine related. I want to make one more video on this, probably the next video. Thank you for listening to me. I wish you a safe journey in your awakening, and whatever you're doing, I wish you love and compassion to you. Be easy on yourself.